Now, Randstad has reported organic revenue growth for the third quarter of 2.7%, but in France, revenue growth was down 1%, impacted by a general market slowdown and strong focus on client profitability. Joining us now on the phone from Amsterdam is Jacques van den Broek, CEO of Randstad. Jacques, great to have you with us. Thank you so much for joining us on Daybreak Europe. Let me start by asking you about the tightness in labour markets. It's something, of course, that's happening in the US and the Netherlands. How tight are labour markets now?
Yeah, well, it's definitely tightening. You see, historic low unemployment in the US. In the Netherlands also, that's still related to certain sectors and certain regions, so I wouldn't call it an overall tightness. But no, we need to work hard with our clients to get them the right candidates, which on the one hand means that your volume growth, is tough to have because people get hired sooner. But on the other hand, you do have some pricing power, which you see in our margins, which are broadly stable, and that leads to an improvement in our results.
Jacques, the line that you use, good morning to you, it's Manus speaking in Dubai. You say fourth quarter margins are seen modestly lower sequentially. What does that mean? Where is the margin squeeze coming? Which geography is that squeeze coming through in?
Yeah, well, actually, the margin, so the gross margin we get for our service is broadly stable. There's more of a technical effect in France, is that we don't get a certain subsidy in December, so that will lead almost artificially to some pressure on the margin, but that's not gonna harm us that much. We do expect to modestly improve our EBITDA margin also in Q4 as we did this quarter.
You mentioned France, Jacques. I'd like to ask what the impact of ongoing labour reform is likely to be on your business.
Yeah, at the moment in France, there's not a lot of labour reforms that have an effect on the French market as such. In that sense, it's a pretty stable environment. What we do see, but the jury's still out on that, if the current subsidy scheme we have will be replaced by something else next year. But we don't have any details yet, so I cannot really comment on that. In Italy, there is a pending labour reform, but also too soon to call what that will be in terms of effects on the Italian market. Yeah.
Jacques, I seem to get this question every quarter, so let's revisit both of us. I'm always fascinated to know how tight the US market is. It's 18% of your business. I want to know about the wage pressure in the United States of America. Can you give me any complexion about where the wage pressures are? Is it, where in the spectrum of workers are you seeing it, and how manifest is it?
Yeah, it's the least in white-collar jobs. So we do see some automation effects in repetitive white-collar jobs. Blue-collar, 2-3% inflation, very much regionalized. In the southeast, we're strong in the southeast. There's a lot of pressure there. Northeast. So it's also limited to sectors. We, as you said, we have this discussion repeatedly. It has some effect, but in general, it's a bit overestimated in our growth numbers. Probably it's 1% of the current 5% growth we see in our staffing businesses might be related to wage pressure, but we don't fully calculate it out. It's always tough to do full comparisons there.
Finally, just want to ask about any potential impact of the trade war, trade conflicts that we've seen globally, Jacques. Is that having any impact at all on the staffing and recruitment market?
Yeah, well, it does have an effect on automotive. You might have seen some big automotive suppliers coming out with some profit warnings in recent months. Those are clients of ours, certainly in Germany, where you see the growth going down. That is for 75% related to this automotive sector, where there's uncertainty. There's uncertainty both on the trade war, but also on legislation regarding diesel engines, which is not clear, and therefore they hold their horses a bit at the moment.
Okay, Jacques, thank you so much for being with Nera and I this morning. That's Jacques van den Broek, the CEO at Randstad.